Welcome, students. I am coming to you from Caddo and Mound State Park, which is located in present-day Alto, Texas. So here we are. This is the main center of where the Caddo lived. This is where they were stationed, and I'm going to take you around this park and show you all the different aspects. If you notice, standing right behind me, we have the largest mound in the park. This was the burial mound. This is where they would have buried their dead. They buried all the deceased Caddo members here, and they would bury their belongings with them. So this is the largest one for that reason, being that it was a burial mound. And we're going to go ahead and capture. I'm going to go ahead and click off here, and then we're gonna capture some pictures and some shots here of this mound. So I'm gonna go ahead and walk you back on toward the back side. Obviously we can't, this is sacred ground. Obviously we can't walk up onto this mound, but it is rather large. I'm quite a ways away from this, but it is, you know, a good 50 feet high or so. Okay, pretty high peak. So this is the back side of the burial mound. Showing you another view on the other side of this burial mound. We are still looking at the burial mound, but this is the closest that we can get to this thing. I'm pretty close in on it. Okay, kind of backing out here a little bit. You notice it's pretty wide and pretty high. Obviously, would have had to be for, you know, Caddo members to be buried here. We have made our way to the second of the three mounds, the Caddo mounds here. I wanted to show you, this is a good picture here of what this would have looked like in the 1500s, in the new Caddoan days. Okay, this is what was known as a platform, just a platform mound. This is what it's known as. And let's go ahead and take a look at what we could see. As you can see, it is much flatter. It's actually hard to even distinguish where it is. Okay, but there is a mound right here. I'm going to see the elevation to it. Very low elevation here, kind of like a small hill. Okay, this would have been used for this would have been used for certain ceremonies. It's much wider, where it could fit, you know, fit the whole tribe, which this was mostly the Hasinai Caddo lived here, and this would have fit the tribe. Go ahead and look back at here what it would have looked like in past days. So this is where they would have held widespread ceremonies for the whole tribe. And we're going to continue on with our adventure here. We are going to walk up now onto what would have been known, it's called the Borrow Pit. And I think we can figure this out. You're going to see a serious downslope here. And what this would have been is this is where the Caddo would have used, this is pretty evident that this is where they dug up from the ground. You notice it slopes way off. We're pretty high elevated here, and it goes down a good, you know, 7,500 feet from here. And so let me just scan in on this a little bit. And this is where they would have dug out the ground to make these pits here. This is what is known as the Borrow Pit for the Caddo right here. Let's continue on. Okay, on to our third mound. There was a display area further back, but I felt like let's get closer. Obviously, this road did not exist at the time of the Caddo, but this is a much closer view here. You go ahead and scan across. Let's explain what this is. This would have been the Temple Mount. As you notice, it's wider and flatter. Now, all these mounds have eroded over time. They're all bigger than what they are now. They would have been wider, probably a little bit higher in elevation too, but just natural erosion over time. They've lost a little bit of height and width, but this is where they would have held their religious ceremonies. There would have been a temple placed on top. It would have been likely a wooden temple, because they didn't have access to stone and other materials like that. So this is where the temple would have been placed, where they would have gone through all their religious ceremonies. This is the Temple Mound, and this is the third and last mound that we're going to look at. I'm going to go ahead and turn it around, and y'all can see me for just a second. Okay, I said we were going to try to access the El Camino Real. Well, we can't. The gate is locked today. We cannot get through it. There is a trail going back here. You see this dirt road right here? This is the El Camino Real. Goes back through there. And we're gonna walk a little ways down the El Camino Real whenever we go to San Francisco de los Tejas and show you that mission. You can also access the El Camino Real with that. But let's look at this sign. It's pretty cool right here. If you can see it, says Mexico City, 1,110 miles, and Natchitoches, Louisiana, 144 miles. So as you could tell, we're on the very eastern part of the El Camino Real, but this thing would run all the way through Texas, south through Texas, and down into Mexico City. It was known as the Great Road. Sometimes it was known as the Royal Road. But here is a small portion of the El Camino Real. Okay, one more part to this journey. We're going to add one more thing onto the Caddo. And this is why the Caddo chose this to be their primary area, their main center of residence, okay? So if you can see, we're just barely beyond that Temple Mount. The Temple Mount was back there at the edge of that road. Notice there's a stream running through here. This is why the Caddo set up their tribe right here. There's a stream running through here, and then down toward the end, just down there by where those trees are, is the Neches River, where the Neches River runs. So they would have wanted to be stationed near the Neches River, and there's a stream that ran out through the Neches right here to where they would have access to all the water they needed for washing, creating pottery, washing their clothing, and drinking water and all that. So thought this would add a little bit more to why the Caddo lived here. This is the stream that led to where they established their tribe.